Whoa, I think it's recording. Anyway, lovely day today. I mean, it's okay. It's gray and it's wet, but I mean, the temperature is really quite nice. I'm way overdressed. I didn't realize. Anyway, comb my hair. Oh no. Might as well not make a video because my hair's not combed. Anyway, subject. I kind of like the idea of talking about civilization and democracy. Civilization and the rules that make living possible. The mechanism of enforcement. The mechanism of compliance. You know, because it is sort of irritating that we can't seem to get any of this crap right. You know, that somehow some sort of diversity, you know, Lord of the Flies, really good book and movie, you ought to read it or watch it. Even, you know, all the versions of the movie aren't bad, really. They all have some good elements and bad elements. But anyway, lots of kids in their underwear, if you go for that thing. You're pedophiles and such. Anyway, where was I? I'm holding the camera, so yeah, I didn't drop it. Yeah, I thought it fell out of my pocket, but it's in my hand. Anyway, battery's probably going to go dead anyway, so this probably won't be a video. But yeah, why can't we come up with a way to live with each other that, you know, all the good things are possible of interaction, but all the negative kinds of interactions, like you're drunk and you run over somebody's kids, or, you know, you want, you know, to do something and you oblige, like you want to have a pig farm and somebody else has to live next door to it, you know, that kind of thing. The stuff where we fuck with each other's comfort. You know, we implicate the things they care about. They said we subject them. It's like the harm issue, right? I mean, in a sense, I've adopted all the little creatures of the earth. And, you know, when you harm them overtly and deliberately and maliciously and all that crap without any kind of humility at all, yeah, I kind of take it personally. I kind of take it like well, shit, they're my guys. You know, I'm on Team Animal, and you're fucking with one of my guys, and so I feel kind of like you're bringing it to me now. It's not just your business. And it's kind of like when somebody has kids. It's not just your business, okay? They're consciousnesses. They're kids. They're not your kids. They're kids. They're children. And we all have a right as a human, almost a human right. As funny as that sounds, human rights. We almost have a human right to count them among our possessions in terms of what we care about, in terms of being in the sphere of our worry space. I'm allowed to worry for their welfare. It's one of my human rights, is to be concerned with the welfare of things like myself, things that can manifest attributes that we have qualified as important, like being able to suffer and feel. And certainly human children have those attributes. They have a destiny and a future that needs development. It needs to be invested in. They need to be, their welfare will be implicated by their treatment. That's simple. What you feed them will matter. It will decide their destiny. So yeah, it's not just your personal activity anymore. It's not just something you do. And it's something you do in a broader implication sense. And there's a truth overlying the whole thing about what is defendable behavior, what is acceptable, justifiable. Now, obviously, you could have an island, you could all be Nazis or cannibals, and think you're entitled to do something grotesque and barbaric. But it doesn't mean that the thing that you're doing is right. Because you all agree it's okay. Doesn't mean it's okay. Doesn't mean it's productive. It doesn't mean that it doesn't make your existence even more overpriced, you're unworthy, useless. It's even worse than useless. Your existence becomes a destructive blight. You become a blight, a harm, a bad thing. You can make your existence a bad thing by perpetrating bad behavior. Yeah, not that hard to do. But you can also make your existence a bad thing by just breaking in some kind of horrific way. And then, you're not going to be cost effective even internally. You're going to be a net producer of more suffering than pleasure or pleasantness. You're going to exist in a cannibalized state by the attrition of natural indifference. Kind of poetic, but probably a little bit too much sophistry there. Sophistry. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? All right. I don't want to get into the truth argument. I was more wanting to get onto the human meme argument, the human how we think thing. I'm going to tie the shoe. And we think, from this personal perspective, from this, what do I want, what do I like, and those are all kind of conditioned by our circumstances. So if you were thrown on an island, and you had this kind of limited resource, no library to go to, all you had was other people, their ideas, your creativity was limited by what they were musing you with, feeding you with, you'd be a much more limited person in terms of potential. Kind of obviously, there's a progression to what can be imagined in different stages of human existence. The pixels were so much fuzzier in the past. The resolution was so bad because it didn't have knowledge of microbes, didn't understand physics of thunderstorms, and so it left this huge, there's lots of room for wrong conclusions, bad conclusions about what was right or wrong. It made sense to throw virgins into volcanoes because there was some possibility. That's how the world worked. That ran on virgin power. Now we're too smart for that. And so I guess what I'm saying is that, if you're going to stay monkeys on the island, well then, you'll never have anything very democratic. Civilization's going to be pretty hard. But if you get the idea of civilization, you get the idea of the principles of civilization, this idea that all behavior does matter, that implicates something else that feels, that it can't be put away somewhere. Humans matter, but other sentience doesn't. If you're going to write a constitution that's that blind, then it might as well be a constitution that doesn't count women as people and doesn't as a person, doesn't count black people as a person. It'll be that closed, myopic, blinkered. You won't be in the realm of rational civilization, real civilization. You won't be on the road to civilization. But this is really important stuff. And so you have to understand what fairness is. You have to it's not that hard a concept, but there are subtleties to it. Like I said, it's not fair to create a circumstance that may not be directly imposing on somebody else, but the imposition is preposterously indirect. If I live next to a concentration camp in Germany, it might not be directly imposing any harshness on me, any burden, but just the burden of its knowledge of it would be catastrophic. It would have a catastrophic effect on your capacity to live any kind of life, knowing what's just across that fence. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I just got the creeps. That's a creepy subject. See, I guess those images do, there's something happens inside your brain, when you do talk about these things, and you get a little image in your head, and it does have connected to it a whole bunch of gnarly strings. And, when you pull that off the shelf, those strings pull a bunch of other crap with them. A bunch of emotional crap. And can disengage you, just by, a reflexive action of your own, the adrenaline, the chemistry activates, and, it fucks you up. So here, just even the idea of having knowledge of the Holocaust is a burden. The people, they're not only responsible for creating the bad that was the Holocaust, they're responsible for creating the bad, which is the lament and the sorrow and the cognitive dissonance that we have to experience, realizing that human beings are capable of this dismal, depraved behavior. Having to accept the burden of that knowledge itself is weighty and destructive and negative. So here, not only by having a Holocaust are they guilty, not only by victimizing the victims are they guilty, they're victimizing me by doing it, in a manner that makes it possible for me to have knowledge of it, and to have to incorporate that knowledge into a perception that will allow me to have some hope, some will to fight for a kind of monster that is capable of that. Yeah, that was fairly eloquent. I mean, if somebody else said it, I think you people would be applauding. Yeah, I think it would. But whatever. That's okay. Yeah, so I think that makes the point. This is the complexity of our life, and we have all this diverse perspective, and people are almost gleeful in crossing the lines, in shoving the offenses in each other's faces. Just quite amazing. Ooh, car with the hood up. Not a good sign. Gary.